So Burnt. Burnt is the new movie star. Well, it's a star-studded cast, frankly. Bradley Cooper, Sienna Miller, Emma Thompson, Daniel Bruhl. And the story is: have you seen the poster for this? So
I have seen the poster.
Okay, from the poster, what do you think the story is?
Well, it's quite interesting that it's only got him in.
Oh, well, the poster. Okay,
yeah.
Fine. Okay,
and he's clearly a chef.
Yes, very good. And that's about it. Okay, so the story is
Can't really tell that much, and presumably because it's called Burnt.
It's a film about a chef.
It's about chef, and obviously it's not going to go fantastically well at some stage because his career gets burnt.
So that's at the very, very beginning. He comes back, his career has been burnt. So he's a chef. He's been off in Paris where he became an addict and totally burnt all his bridges. See what they did there? Then he
Which bridge did he burn?
Many bridges. And then, there's probably Pont Neuf. Exactly. So the new bridge is probably the one that he burnt when he was in Paris.
Not the 9th.
That joke is for very long time listeners and Nikolai, because no one else is going to get it. Okay, so anyway, so he comes to London via 1 million shucked oysters. He's been shucking oysters and counting them.
Is that what you do?
Yeah.
With an oyster?
Yeah. That's what he's been doing. And he turns up in town, and so he's going to, and he wants to, and now he's going to regain his reputation. He's now sober and clean, and he's not addicted to anything anymore. He's given up drugs, women, stuff, But what he hasn't given up is Gordon Ramsay-esque shouting. Because this is a movie about, yes, that's right, a chef is a genius because he's shouty, shouty, shouty in the kitchen, but out of the kitchen, he's philosophy, philosophy, philosophy. Here's a clip.
Cooking's an expression of what? Tell me.
At its best, of sustaining someone of love.
Adam Jones, the Langham, is now one of the best and most interesting places in London to come and eat.
Which part of that don't you like, one of or interesting?
I don't want my restaurant to be a place where you come and eat. I mean, we should be dealing in culinary orgasms. When's the last time you had an orgasm that was interesting?
Remind me never, ever to discuss food with you in public.
People eat because they're hungry. I want to make food that makes people stop eating.
You're being stupid.
Cooking is an expression of who we are, and right now we're 2 stars, both of us. It's a 2-star review. Now we can keep on cooking and be interesting, but I want people to sit at that table and be sick with longing. And I need you to do it with me.
He needs a punch.
Yeah.
Or, a fruit punch, obviously. How annoying is that?
I know. So, whilst that clip was playing, Nikolai said in my headphone, is it better than Ratatouille? No. No, but not by exactly, not by a bazillion miles. So the problems with this are many. Firstly, there is an astonishing, Alicia Vikander, and it's directed by John Wells, who did August Osage County or Osage August. Those who remember that one. And Emma Thompson, who's this. She says that she's not the psychiatrist, but she kind of is a psychiatrist, and she does blood tests to make sure that he is staying clean. And so this very, very star-studded cast, and yet essentially what the script, which did go through several changes, also through several title changes. It was called Chef at one point, and then the John Favreau movie Chef came along, and then it became called Adam Jones, and everyone thought it was boring. Now it's called Burnt. Firstly, it's so, I hate to say this, but it's so last decade. Do we care about shouty chefs anymore? Have we not all seen this enough? He's a monster, but you know what? He makes good food. I don't believe that for a start. I mean, I don't believe for 1 minute that food is made better in the kitchen by people behaving like belligerent babies smashing plates. I don't believe that's the case.
It sounds like Michael Fassbender and the way he's played Steve Jobs, which you're going to say.
Oh, does it? Which I haven't seen yet, but which I'm looking forward to. So that's the first problem. The second thing is that it's one of those movies that actively asks you, firstly, to sympathise with, like, and care about somebody who's an obnoxious fathead who I actually don't care about all the way through. Sienna Miller continues a career renaissance, which is on a par with Matthew McConaughey, but she somehow manages to get slightly sidelined. She's this sort of feisty single mom who's a cook, who's the one person who stands up to Adam, as played by Bradley Cooper, with that slightly, in that manic Bradley Cooper mode. The way he does manic, he does that all the way through. And then the script by Stephen Knight throws all these things in to worry about. So there are these drug dealers who are coming to get the money back. And then there's chefs that he's annoyed over whilst he was burning bridges in Paris. There's a Monteponov. And then there's, girlfriends who are referred to in the background who might turn up for like very brief cameos, which make you wonder, did Alicia Vikander have a weekend off? I mean, why is she here? And all the way through it, the film just falls into that very old, very hackneyed, very kind of complacent idea that there is just something fascinating about watching someone throwing a tantrum in a kitchen, even if, as the movie progresses, they learn that maybe there is more to life than throwing a tantrum in a kitchen. The food stuff didn't make me hungry, which is a problem. The philosophy was just that thing, I don't want people to come to my restaurant to eat. I want them to come to stop eating, which makes me go, bye. And there's a bit at the very beginning when he's in a fast food bar and he has a conversation with Sienna Miller in which he says, hey, fast food is fine, And she's saying, no, it's bad ingredients. He said, no, but, you're just all snobs, spending all this money to sell this expensive food. What is it doing? You've got a problem with working class food. And then we spend the rest of the movie, we're meant to care whether his restaurant is absolutely full on opening night and whether he gets a 4-star review in the Evening Standard. I mean, the only thing that's interesting about it is it seems to me that, at least from what I know from the movies, because I'm really not a restaurant connoisseur at all. As you know, when Gordon Ramsay came on the programme, and he went, yeah, you must be a vegetarian. You've got that wet lettuce.
Gordon Ramsay, star of No Ordinary Trifle, where he couldn't play himself. Is it that Gordon Ramsay?
Gordon Ramsay, yeah. Gordon Ramsay as Gordon Ramsay was really something to behold.
I interviewed him for a book once on 5 Live, which he'd written.
Okay.
And it was full of cussing. And I can understand how I did mention this to him at the time. I can understand in the heat of the moment that you need to have a rich sort of texture to your language and to be able to choose the odd bit of Anglo-Saxon. But when you're writing a book down and you're saying, and then I went to Paris and then I opened a restaurant, you don't actually need to put those words in, do you, Gordon?
And here endeth the lesson.
Just the way.
Just the way it is.
You look at me in No Ordinary Trifle.
Right. Basically, I think me and most of the other people in the room just sat there. It's one of those movies that positively encourages you to go, souffle doesn't rise, all a bit of a pudding. The ingredients don't, whisked up by blah, 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 blah.
Use all the puns you can.
Use all the puns because there ain't nothing else that's making it a tasty snack. It did make me want to see Jon Favreau's Chef again.
But you would think that ranks as quite a big fail then, given
a big fail. Yes,
Bradley's one of the men of the moment, and he's got an impressive cast there.
Yeah, very impressive cast, and a director with some pedigree, but nope.